begin the QB Power Hour webinar series. The QB Power Hour is a free biweekly webinar series for accounting professionals presented by Matthew Fulton and Dan DeLong, who are very passionate about the industry, QuickBooks, and apps that integrate with QuickBooks. You can find out all the details about the webinar series at qbpowerhour.com. So without further ado, here's Matthew and Dan. Welcome everyone to another QB Power Hour. Today we'll be talking about time-saving tech solutions for accountants. So Sharrin and I have our hit list of favorite things that we use that hopefully helps save time and streamlines your day-to-day tasks. And we just kind of wanted to give a listing of some of those things and why we like them. So my name is Dan DeLong, owner at Dan Witt and School of Bookkeeping. Also worked at Intuit for a few years, doing the co-hosting today. Also over at School of Bookkeeping, we have a workshop Wednesday, every Wednesday, as the name implies, and also doing the deep dive host on the unofficial QuickBooks Accountant Podcast. Sharrin, over to you.
Yes. What am I? This is me, guys. I'm Sharrin. I am the founder of Glasswall Adventures. As you can see, I have built a few companies, sold all of the accounting firms. My last one will be finalized as soon as the government opens up. And now I focus directly on helping accounting firm advisors scale, grow, and honestly be able to work on their business, not in their business. And I started a hub and I wrote a book. And then honestly, all of my time now is dedicated to helping Dan with this webinar every other week. And I love it.
Awesome. Well, I am appreciative of you filling in for Matt while he is busily doing the most important things, which is getting healthy.
Yes, absolutely.
So as a reminder, Insightful Accountant nominations for the top advisor, not ProAdvisor, because there's more to advising than being a pro. Wow, that just kind of rolled off the tongue there.
Good. You did very well.
But there's a link for that in the handouts, which I did put in the chat and in the comments online as well. Few things about the stalling for time, because I wanted to put the QR code up on the live stream. A few things about the QB Power Hour. We are eligible for CPE from Earmark. They typically is about 5 days, but they've actually been running a little faster lately. So about 5 days after the CPE options are going to be available over at Earmark. If you have a hankering for prior webinars or PDFs of slides or want to listen to the podcast, that's all available on qbpowerhour.com/resources. Incidentally, if you do like the content that we're making available here, please go into your podcast of choice and put in a review. So that way it expands the reach. So I appreciate that. So today, what we're going to be talking about is, before we get into our time-saving tips, we'll talk a little bit about a surprise, I guess, an update inside of Desktop that talks about Intuit Enterprise Suite. So we'll kind of unpack that a little bit, but then we'll go through our top time-saving tech tips, or time-saving tech tools, I guess is more the case may be, because we use some technology to help bring back some of our time. So we'll talk about Centra, which is all about AI helpers or employees, as they call them. We'll talk about Fixer, which is an email responder, task management and bookings. We'll talk about Motion and client and team training with Scribe, and some proposal platforms that we like to use and we'll spotlight Anchor. So our first poll question, you going to get that, Sharrin? You're muted.
There we go. It's like really early my time.
That's right. And I appreciate you getting up awfully early.
9 a.m. I was being facetious, but there you go, guys.
All right. So what version of QuickBooks do you serve your clients with? So while you guys are answering that, we'll unpack the Intuit news that we like to spotlight here. So Intuit Enterprise Marketing is now showing up in Desktop Enterprise. So what's happening is there's a new menu item inside of QuickBooks 2024 that says move to Intuit Enterprise Suite. So inside of QuickBooks Desktop, there is a menu item to move to Intuit Enterprise Suite. So I discovered this because a client discovered this, which is usually the case, right? We find, we're not alerted to all of the things that they surprise us with. And so this was, of course, a customer who is heavily using the advanced inventory features inside of QuickBooks Desktop Enterprise. And they're like, what the heck is this all about? Really, what it ultimately boils down to, it is in QuickBooks 2024, any new features or service updates will automatically get launched and updated inside of QuickBooks 2024. So occasionally you could see new service messaging or menus or updates or anything dealing with the newness of QuickBooks 2024 on the latest, as long as the update's installed, right? So there's a menu item, and it says, the only option there is to initiate that upgrade process. So they're being very generous in their terminology that they're using, that indicating that Intuit Enterprise Suite is an upgrade from QuickBooks Desktop. It initiates the upgrade process, but all it does is it looks for the login the Intuit login that's tied to the QuickBooks Desktop. It looks to see if there is an Intuit Enterprise Suite contract associated with that login. So when I clicked it, because I'm curious what this actually does, is it went out and looked at my login to see if there was an eligible Intuit Enterprise Suite contract associated with that login. Of course, didn't find one, but it did find plenty of QuickBooks Onlines and wanted me to just send it over to QuickBooks Online. Again, referring to that journey as an upgrade, which I think that is I can't think of the words to describe. That is an extension of that. It's being very generous saying that is an upgrade, especially if you're using a lot of the desktop features and functionalities inside of QuickBooks.
Dan, I think what you're nicely trying to say here, because you care about being on good terms with QuickBooks, is that the term upgrade is questionable at best. But go ahead, Dan.
Yes, thank you.
Intuit doesn't love me, so I'm okay. I'm okay. And as you guys, in 2 weeks, I will no longer be on this either, because they will send a cease and desist for me.
That's right.
Just kidding. I love,
click.
You only hurt the ones you love. And we are a QuickBooks, just so in case they're listening, my firms are QuickBooks Online only. So just saying. All right, go ahead.
Might consider it an upgrade, but if your feature...
One man's trash.
Exactly. Not all enterprises are the same. And this is one of those trigger words for me, or trigger things for me when Intuit overuses the same term, like advanced, for example. There's advanced a lot of things as far as anything dealing with within the QuickBooks ecosystem. So now enterprise is getting that treatment, and putting this Intuit Enterprise Suite menu inside of QuickBooks Desktop Enterprise is only causing confusion about what that is. And then, of course, referring to it as an upgrade also lends to, oh, well, I want more, so I must go look into doing this sort of thing. The concept of Intuit Enterprise Suite and QuickBooks Desktop Enterprise solutions is the same. The more that you use the things that are inside of QuickBooks, the more you're going to get out of them. So when you're using payroll inside of Enterprise, or using the advanced inventory features inside of QuickBooks Enterprise Platinum Edition, you're going to get a lot more out of your QuickBooks because you're doing all those things within QuickBooks. So Intuit Enterprise Suite is the same concept of that. You're going to get more out of your QuickBooks Online experience when you are using the multitude of services that feed into that. So that same concept is the same. However, you have the same problems when you are, air quotes here, upgrading from desktop to online, right? So there, all of the conversion challenges that we've talked about a couple weeks ago with, migrating from desktop to online still exist, even if you're coming from QuickBooks Enterprise Solutions to Intuit Enterprise Suite. I'm trying to be very explicit because I want to make sure that there is a distinction between the two. Now, Intuit Enterprise Suite is foundationally based off of QuickBooks Online, right? So if you do have a client that is heavily using the advanced inventory features, it is not an upgrade by going to Intuit Enterprise Suite, because they are going to need a third-party inventory management solution to do a smidgen, a skosh of the things that they're doing inside of QuickBooks Desktop. Now, if they're not using those features, then it may serve them well to do that, to move to QuickBooks Online. But the bottom line is you have to, for that menu item, and that's the main thing that I brought this up, for that menu item, the logged in QuickBooks user needs to have an active Intuit Enterprise Suite contract. And by that terminology of a contract, it's not just something that you go buy off the shelf. You have to talk to Intuit. There is a quote process, and then they come up with a contract, a yearly contract, and there's a discussion around that before you even buy Intuit Enterprise Suite. There's a link there for the Intuit Enterprise Suite First Look blog I wrote. There's several others on the School of Bookkeeping blog as well. But let's jump into some time-saving tech tools that create time. So we kind of live as a fireman, right? We're constantly putting out fires, whatever the cause of it is, whether it's a talent shortage or just a workload issue, additional offerings that you want to include into your practice. You're chasing after clients, trying to get them to respond, give you the necessary things that you need in order to do your work. You're categorizing, just doing the compliance types of work. In general, there's this thing called the Eisenhower matrix. Stephen Covey used this or leveraged this for his work, where it's a matrix, a 4-block quadrant of urgent and important. So you have this whole idea of everything that you need to do in life is either urgent or important. And then it breaks it into a quadrant of things that are urgently important or not urgent and important, or not important and urgent, or not urgent and not important. And what we end up finding, and this was called the Eisenhower matrix because Dwight David Eisenhower, one of our presidents, started talking about this. I have two kinds of problems: the urgent and the important. And the urgent are not important, and the important are never urgent. And it seems to be that's where we tend to be living. Now, Stephen Covey talks about the things that are most rewarding that you do in your life are not urgent, but important, because that's typically where you have strategic planning, professional development, exercise. What's that? Um, because what we end up finding ourselves is that we either are in urgent, important, which is things that have deadlines attached to them, like I don't know, Sharrin, like a book launch or
No, man. Dan, what'd I just tell you? We were taking a break for an hour. But yes, if my book launch. Sorry.
things
Hey,
that
I'm
have
gonna
a
plug
clear.
it. Gotta plug it.
I don't blame you. Or we're down in urgent and not important, because the urgent things just tend to draw our attention more so than the non-urgent things. But we end up
Does
having.
this screen stress anybody? This for some reason, Dan, you know me, I'm super automated, super organized, but something about this right now is like stresses me out. This is the email organizing, right?
No, this is just kind of setting the stage here.
Okay.
For all.
I think I'm just in high stress mode, so I was just curious.
Yeah. So
I'm like, I don't know. Tell me what to do with it.
Because what we find is that we tend to end up being down here in the busy work, right? And that really is distracting. The things that we want to do, or that we really should be delegating to something else, whether that be another team member, another person, or another tool. That is where it's not really rewarding to spend your life in the urgent, not important, right?
I think that's the accountants have that very fight or flight kind of mentality. And I think we all live in that do it section, right? And then it's an actual like therapy session to get our brains reprogrammed into the schedule it, delegate it mode. Especially when you started as solopreneur, you live in that do it and you just never trust to move out of it.
Right. Right. Murph said, now I urgently need a stiff drink.
It's have one for me. I live in Vegas and
a little too early for day drinking for you.
Not in Vegas. I keep telling everybody, not in Vegas. I live in Vegas. There's no last call and you can drink whatever you want.
So Murph also mentioned, well, which one of these 4 modes would AI handle for us, right? So that's what we're going to be talking about, is these tools that we're going to be talking about are going to take a lot of that busy work, or some of that busy work burden, off of your plate and move it up to, which will give you more bandwidth for you to do the things that are more rewarding, which is that not urgent and important things. So really, to me, there is a third axis or a third dimension, which is significance. when I'm trying to decide what to do, what I also should be asking, not only is it urgent, is it urgent, is it important, is it significant use of my time in order to do that as well. So that's kind of where it kind of drives things up to the not urgent and important area. So I wanted to talk a little bit about your clone and conquer, because
that's me 3 years ago.
Talk about this, because when you're talking about cloning and conquering, I mean, that's always like the thing is that I'm not scalable, or I'm not, unless I have a clone of myself. It's like, so
yeah.
Does this allow people to clone themselves?
Yes. So just so you know, clone and conquer method is trademarked. So you owe me $1 for this slide. I'll market it. I'll give it to you. Yeah. So if anybody that knows me, everybody's like, how do you do it? I do 5,000 things at a time, you guys. I'm running 3 companies right now, 3 completely different companies. I have property development in Utah. We're buying a couple houses here. I'm planning the Women Who Count conference, and I have a book launch, and I'm about to travel. But the only way I can do all of this is because I am a crazy person. It is on page. Just kidding. I am a little ADHD and OCD, if you have not noticed, but it all starts with identifying the things that you're doing over and over that make no sense and replicating them and documenting it and automating it. So I kind of help my community and anybody in my advisory go through. I know how hard it is to be the accountant that's just sitting there and you're like, I just can't get out of it. I need to hire people. And sometimes you just need that help of what to do, and you can't see out of your own box. So that's where I come in with my community, which is free right now. Go sign up, free. And we just solve all the problems. Anything that you need. I'm, like I said, huge on AI, huge on automation. If I do something once manually, I'm like, this is ridiculous. I'm going to find a way to never do this again. And that's what I do. So now all I do is relationship things, respond to emails, be on awesome webinars, things like that. But I don't have to do the work because I do the work once and I either delegate it or I automate it. And that is the future of accounting, whether you like it or not. The only thing that you're not going to be able to automate are your relationships. So let's get all the rest of it off of you. I think I went over my time, but
that's totally fine.
All right. But there you go.
If for those people that don't necessarily know where to begin, this would be a great step to take. In the fact that you have
it's free.
A community. Yeah. The price is
seriously, as soon as I get back from Connects, my whole focus is on this community. And all I'm doing for my original people that are in is creating the content and developing everything for them specifically to what you need for free. So take advantage of that. Take advantage of this level of insanity in my head.
Yeah, before she comes to her senses.
Yeah. Before I need to, my savings runs out and I need to pay my mortgage. It's all right.
Exactly. So I'm going to launch the second poll there.
Good call.
Which is, where do you find that you're spending most of your time? Is it urgent, important, non-urgent? We're in the quandary. So while you guys are answering that, let's go ahead and talk about some of these tools that we use to help with these things. So I use this. So when ChatGPT came on the scene, burst onto the scene, I was an early adopter. I took a look at it. And then, of course, the stingy person in me was like, I don't want to pay for it.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So I tried to do everything that I could do with, the free version. And I think I got behind the 8-ball, and I'm also a Mac user at heart. Right. So I'm an Apple person. So as ChatGPT 4.0, the paid version is very robust, and the things that you can do, we did a whole cohort at School of Bookkeeping, all based on ChatGPT. But I found
that's the $200 version or the free version.
The second one, the one that's $20.
The $20 one.
Yeah.
That's what I use. I didn't find any difference between the 200 and the 20. I don't know about you.
Yeah, I'm sure there are. But for me, I needed it more packaged, right? So ChatGPT is very Android-y to me, right? Meaning that if you know what you're doing in ChatGPT, you can do all of these things, but you got to spend some time to do it, right? And set things up and create your GPTs and personas and organize your project. So I found this. I got social media added to these AI employees called Centra. Centra is the company. There's 1 to 12 of them, and they're all adorable, but a little creepy with the eyes. The eyes actually move if you're on the site and working with them. It's like the Scooby-Doo. Type.
This is what's going to look like if Pixar comes to life and takes over the world.
Yeah.
Be kind to them. Say please and thank you. It's all I have to say about AI. Say please and thank you to the robot overlords.
But the idea was like, why are they kids? And why are they small little robots? And
because you likely won't swear at them. Otherwise, how often do you swear at I swear at Alexa all the time. I'm just telling you, but I wouldn't swear at little Buddy or Cassie. Pen will cut me. Redheads, don't trust them.
Well, there is a Dexter in there too for data.
But you don't mess with Dexter and Bruno. You just don't mess with them.
the customer, I mean, the company themselves, when you sign up for it, they have a little onboarding video, and the founder of the company talks about why are they children. It's because they're going to grow with you. That is the whole idea, is that they start them out as little children, like your children, and then as you continue to interact with them, they grow. And I started using this about a year ago, and it's been super helpful to me because I tried humans as with team members, and they wanted breaks and all that stuff. And this allows me to kind of scale a little bit of myself, right? So each one is customizable. They all are essentially supposed to do different things. You could feasibly talk to the other, interact with any of them and get the same things, but you can customize each one of them to be different demeanors and friendly versus I'm all business. It's generative, meaning that it's helps with creative ideas. They can generate images. There is now a mobile app that you can do things right on the mobile app. So when you have an idea or something like that, you can just use the app. And one of the things that is really cool is once you do the onboarding, which takes maybe 10 minutes to walk through the onboarding, every week it asks you there's about 10 questions that it asks you. Like for this one is, what percentage of your revenue comes from annual memberships versus monthly ones, right? So it just asks you general questions to get to know a little bit more about your business. And there's also a personal side to it as well. But then what's going to happen is it's going to come up with ideas. And one of the things that's really cool about this is that these are ideas that I would have never really thought about, but it's all based off of the answers that you're giving it, right? So here's an example. I want people to avoid burnout, right? Like that's something that's very important to me. And so one of the questions and some of the ideas that came up about that were like checklists or balanced, types of ways to go about your career, right? And what happened is it came up with an idea of creating a guided meditation, something that I would have never thought about. But last year, Thanksgiving was coming up, and I thought, well, it'd be kind of cool to have a little gratitude guided meditation. And this thing ended up, off of that idea, it started to spawn things. I'm like, well, can you write a script, a guided meditation script? And it says, here it is. And I was able to, kind of tweak with that. And what I ultimately did is I took that, put it in a text to speech application, which then created this 3-minute long guided meditation. It's not my voice, which I could do now because I now have a voice clone.
I don't know, Dan. You have a good voice for stuff like this. I'd pay to listen. In fact, I should have you read my audiobook.
There you go. I'll be that kind of guy. And then, it also crafted the email to send out to my audience and everything. And what it ultimately did was create a little place on my website. I'm going to open it up here, which is a place to go to take a 5-minute break. And then I put it in a video editor. And it really,
Welcome to this guided gratitude meditation, designed specifically for accounting professionals. In the midst of numbers and deadlines, taking a moment to focus on gratitude can refresh your mind and enhance.
Well, anyway, I don't want to go the whole way. You can check it out if you want, but there's nothing on the website to sell. It's just a place to go to take a little break. And I thought that was a really great application of the things that I've been trying to do. Right. So there's just a short little thing, and I never would have thought of that had this idea not come up. And it was actually a collaborative thing. Some of the other things that Centra does is some automations. It can respond to Facebook comments. So when you put in your Facebook page, it'll put all those things there in one place, and you can approve the comments that it's going to respond to or not. There is a social media creator or scheduler with LinkedIn, Facebook, and Instagram. X, it will generate, but it won't schedule it. And then there is a summarization of your day and your calendar. So you can go in there and see what you're in for when you start your day. As far as pricing is concerned, it's $37 individually or $97 a month for all 12 of them. I know that's 10 on the screen. I don't know where the other two are, but there's actually 12.
They're playing hide and seek.
That's right. They're off working. And then there are annual discounts, and then you can add team members to that, because you actually do get a brain inside there, and you can upload snippets or files to continue to train it. So that's one of those tools that I use that I really enjoy using it. So let's talk about
email. I have actually used this. Before, right. So I know some about it.
You got some.
So you're going to get a review from a crazy person. I mean, crazy in a good way. I mean, I'm not like gonna key cars, or I'm not emotionally, but I'm just a different level when it comes to work stuff and organization and stuff. So I like to tell people that, just so they know what to expect.
My particular situation being that, I have my fingers and a lot of thumbs and a lot of pies. I don't have one email address to respond to. So I have multiple different domains, different aspects of that. And I was finding that I was either crafting the same email over and over again, or it was coming from the wrong inbox, or things of that nature. Emails were falling through the cracks. And those thoughtful responses, they take time. And then there's noise, right? There's marketing and emails that come through, updates for the QB Power Hour, whatever, all of those things that get communicated through email. It's pretty hard to know which one deserves your attention.
Are you an inbox zero kind of person?
I would love to be inbox zero.
I am. That is one of my methods. Is I am inbox zero, and everything gets pushed to my task management. So I know even if I need to respond to something and I don't have time, I push everything to it so I can plan my day out. But we'll get to that one. But I have tried this. Have you tried it? Do you use this?
Yeah, I use this, and I do really like it as well. Just like with anything automated, you want to confirm things before they actually go out.
Yes. I tried it. I have I know I keep interrupting you, Dan, but you can't see. I think we decided I need to do this. I used it, and I thought it was really cool. But let me give you a little bit of feedback. When you bring it in, so if you have a system for your email at all, which I do, I just said, we all know, I've got a system. So when I brought this in, it kind of discombobulates your system, and you have to set up a new system. And not that their system doesn't work. It was amazing. Mm-hmm. I was at a place where I'm like, okay, I need to come back, because when we're accountants, right? This is how we do things. And we don't like to get out of here unless we have time to control our situation. So if you go to download this, it's amazing. I 150% recommend it. All of you should use it. If you have some downtime over the holidays, that's when you need to go set this up in your email inbox, get used to it and how it works, because it is an entirely different system you have to get used to. And when you're not used to it and you just pull it right in, you're going to be overwhelmed and you're going to lose things. So I just don't want anybody to download this and then they're like, what are all these labels? So please use this, but please use it when you have a couple hours to sit and look through it.
And really, really understand what what their logic is.
Amazing tool.
Because the idea is that you connect your inbox, And then Fixer starts to learn your voice. And there's a preferred method for setting up the emails. If you're using Google Workspace, making sure they're all on the same thread or stacked or whatever. I don't use Gmail, the app, or the website. So I find that.
Do we want to talk about Google Workspace right now? Because I use it like crazy and I'm completely locked out of one with no warning. So here's another thing that we should have a thing for. Back up. If you use Google, get a backup and make sure that it backs up all of your Google Docs into an Excel or Word format. That's all I'm going to say. You can email me separately if you want more information, but please back up your Google Workspace because they can shut you down without any notice, any warning, and can lock you out of everything. Just as a
sounds like you speak from experience.
Currently, right now,
as we speak.
Yes.
But what it does is it actually drafts responses. It categorizes and potentially moves non-essential emails, which all of that's customizable. So if you have a specific sender who's not marketing, right, and you don't want it to go into the marketing label or the categorization for you, you can override these things. It can support multiple email addresses and calendars. It's Google or Outlook as far as your, setting up the emails that it will support. It also does have a meeting transcriber and recap. And the setup typically takes about 5 or 10 minutes. Now, that doesn't mean it's 5 or 10 minutes, you're off to the races, as Sharrin was correctly state. Get used to using it first before you set it, forget it type of thing. It's not a crock pot just to dump in all of your email. And now, 5 hours later, you have a wonderful meal. It also sends you weekly recaps, basically categorizing or quantifying the number of emails that it organized and how many drafts it wrote. So the question typically is, the next logical question is, how good are these drafts? I was first using it and I got an email from a client, actually the same client that told me about the Intuit Enterprise Suite menu. And I crafted an email. It took me about 15 minutes to write. And it was all about customizing the packing list inside of QuickBooks desktop, because they want to send packing slips to the guys out in the warehouse without all the pricing and all that stuff. So it took me about 15 minutes to explain how to do that, forgetting that I had just launched this. And then I went and I looked in my drafts and it virtually said the exact same thing. Like, oh my goodness, I could have saved myself 14 and a half minutes, probably taking me 30 seconds to tweak this draft and send it out. Now, the drafts are not automatically sent, so it will not send any email automatically for you, especially when there's something to respond to. But depending on how you're working with email, because they do recommend you work in the Gmail app for Google accounts and inside of Outlook for Outlook accounts. If you're not doing that, like I'm on a Mac and I'm using Mail, I inadvertently responded too quickly to an email, and the draft was actually an email that was already attached. So it looked like I responded to it twice. So it's just something to be aware of.
That's where I was mentioning that you just you really need to learn the platform. But it is amazing. I think it's a great tool personally. Yeah. I'm going to reset it back up over the holiday after in November when I have my life
in November back. When you have your copious free time back in your life.
Yes.
So here's an example, right? So there's a common question that people will ask me when they need to make a deposit and there was a fee, right? There's a merchant account deposit type of thing where you have the payment that was received in full, but the amount that actually gets deposited into the bank account is less than that because they took some fees out. So she sent me a screenshot of what she was going to be doing. She mistakenly said, and showed in the screenshot that she was going to be putting the fee to undeposited funds. So basically creating a circular deposit, which, was not accurate. So this is the draft that it sent to, that it was all fixed and ready to send. It's like, yes, on the line where you enter the negative value for the fee received from should say the customer, and which actually should say the vendor of who you're paying the fees to. But the account should be the same account that you use for fee expense. Example, merchant fees or bank charges, not undeposited funds. So I was really impressed that it saw from the screenshot that she had put it to undeposited funds. The positive line is for the full payment for the customers to undeposited funds, and the negative line is the fee posted to the expense account. That way the net deposit matches what actually hit your bank, and then let me know if you want step by step. So all of that was done for me, and all I had to do was tweak the received from to be from the customer to the vendor and send it on its way. So very nice option. When I started using this, there was only one plan, and now they have two. They have a standard, which is really for one inbox, one calendar, and a pro that will handle multiple inboxes and multiple calendars. And there's also Teams options. All right. So when you want to send that step-by-step process that I was mentioning in the draft, you might want to consider using Scribe. So if you ever felt like you're repeating yourself with team members or clients, or steps getting missed, or you're playing phone tag of, I need to do this, but I don't know how, and you can't get a hold of your client, or it's maybe an infrequent process and it gets forgotten, that's where Scribe really comes in handy. Basically,
do you want to know if you want to double down on this? I know I just interrupted you again. To double down on this, I Loom while I teach it and Scribe at the same time. So I'll record a Loom talking through what I'm doing for people that want to watch me do it. And then I'm recording a Scribe at the same time. So then I could adjust my Scribe, so I'm like, here, this is how you do it. Here's a video. Here it is in a PDF. Go learn the way you want to learn, but I've showed you once, I'm never doing it again.
That is a great way to
I'm going to trademark that. Oh, wait, I did. Yeah. Clone and conquer.
There you go. But the idea is that you can capture any workflow and then you can share it with your clients or colleagues. And then, so these are the features that I really like. It's fast to create. It even hones in on the area that you're clicking on in the screenshot. Of course, it's easily updated, so you can always go back into the Scribe workflow, update a screenshot if something changes, because with QuickBooks Online, that will be constant, of constantly needing to be updated. And then it's flexible as far as usage, right? Like you can share the link, you can export. There's options to export it as a PDF, or you can embed it on your website. And the thing that I like the most, excuse me, I'm getting choked up about it, is you get a notification when it's viewed. So if you send your client a link and then you get a notification that they viewed it, then you at least know they're in the right place and they're taking steps without even notifying you back. Okay, we're done. But then you can be on the lookout for, if there is a task that's coming back to you, you'll know because they saw it. And there is a desktop app as well for multiple applications. Like if you're doing something in a web browser and then you have to do something in your email, then you can use the desktop app to do those scribes at the same time. Sharrin,
I keep my little shortcut, or the little, what are they called, up in my Google, the toolbar. I keep my Loom and my Scribe right there, and then it just launches. It's just, whenever I'm like, someone's like, I don't know how to do this. I'm like, you will in 2 minutes. Hold on.
Exactly. And there's two main levels. And what I really like about Scribe.
Thank you, Ellen.
What I really like about Scribe is that to really getting used to it, they have a totally free version, right? So it's limited, right? You only have like maybe 10 scribes that you can do, and there's no exporting of that. But it really gives you an understanding of how the Scribe actually captures those workflows and how you can edit those types of things before actually opting into a paid subscription, which is $29 a month for an individual. And then pro teams, if you have 5 or more people, it's $15 a month per user. So $60 a month for at least 5 people.
I won't tell you how we get around this. It's kind of sketchy. We use a generalized, like it just is like operations or internal at, because we all use it as a team. We don't need to hide things. And we all log in with that one and just organize in the folder. It won't pass. It's hidden. Come on. But yeah, we do. We do that for that and Loom because I don't know. Because I'm a terrible human being. Sorry.
Here comes the lightning strike from.
Come get. Oh my God, please. I could use a enforced snap right now.
There we go. And then there's another one that we both also use called Motion. It's not Notion with an N. It's Motion with an M.
This if you have ADHD on any level whatsoever, this is the tool. I've been on it since beta. The only caveat, I do not use it for my accounting team. I do not know, Dan, since you're if you're a solopreneur, I don't think it scales very well when you have a team and multiple clients. But it's great if you're a solopreneur, if you're managing something aside, like my team is all on Client Hub, but I am on Motion, and I am telling you, it is amazing. I cannot give you, except for their new billing model, which I had it out with them. It is an amazing tool. Go ahead, Dan. But I will jump in 50 times on this because you know that I love Motion.
Yeah. I mean, for me, it was like I was trying to always, for me, I was trying to come up with a way to focus on the things I need to focus on, right? So I was talking to my phone, putting on reminders, but then I would forget to look at the reminders. So I had a daily reminder to look at the reminders. I'm like, this is ridiculous that I have to have a reminder of what's important and what tasks are needing to look at. So again, I checked this out, and what I really liked about it is that it does this auto scheduling and reshifting of things, of tasks, and it incorporates itself into your calendar, right? So you can look at your calendar and see what you need to do. You can look at Motion and see what you need to do. They're all the same. And then when you mark something as completed, then everything else
reshuffles. It's so amazing. And it's great because it's got everything in one, right? Like, so my calendar links are all in there, and it connects my Zoom, and it's got my AI note taker. So when I'm in a Zoom call, it's taking notes, gives me the recap, records it. Then it says, oh, hey, here's all the deliverables that we kind of picked up out of your thing. Do you want these added? And you're like, yes. So it's all in one. It's just the most... I fired my assistant yesterday. I was just like, I'm done with you. I don't need you. I know it's coming up on the holidays. Find a job. I did not. I'm joking. And she's my sister. So that would be terrible.
Exactly. But it is a combination, a consolidation of a lot of tools that you're already using, right? Like there is a booking link in it that you can send out to people there. So it connects to whatever you need to do as far as connecting to your Zoom, so that those automatic updates or calendar invites that are accepted and all of those things occur, right? So that's in a nutshell what it does. But here's the things that we really like about it. The tasks are auto scheduled on the calendars. Everything shifts when a meeting comes in, and and it needs to, it'll push things out of the way. So as long as they're not marked as busy, right? So you can have multiple calendar inputs. This was one of the few ones that actually integrated with iCloud for my personal stuff. So when my wife threw a doctor's appointment in there that did not have anything to do with work, but it still had everything to do with not getting work at that time.
That's what we do. My husband and I have a shared Gmail for the stuff that we need to tell each other. And so we use that calendar. And if it's not, so I have the calendar in there. It marks everything as free, but it's so I know in case I need to mark it as busy. But I'm like, hey, the electrician's coming at this time. He's not going to be here. I need to answer the door. So it is, again, you guys, if it organizes my life. And I think the best part of it is that when you put something in, you're like, hey, this is this task. It's going to take me 30 minutes. I have to have it done by tomorrow. It stops you from avoiding the things you need to do. It's like, hey, this has to be done. Stop avoiding me. You got to get it done. And I think that's the most important piece of it for those of us that don't like getting things done that aren't fun.
And the one criticism that I have is that the booking links are not customizable to your brand. So at this point, you can't do that. Yet. So if you wanted to put your logo and those types of things like you can with Calendly and the other bookers that are out there, it's just not available yet. One of the things that they're working on, as you can see by the cute robots behind this human cartoon, which kind of looks like me. I guess I don't know how I got thrown in motion.
They knew that you are a huge motion user, and they are like, let's just steal this guy's identity.
We'll just put him on our homepage and not tell him about it.
Honestly, Dan, you look like every other guy that looks like you out there. Like, you probably look like 25 dudes on this in our attendees, just so you know.
Exactly. So they are including AI employees. So, if Centra is not for you, but you like motion, you could dip your toes into the AI employee thing. But they are now starting to charge, like we started when they had a different billing model. I'm on the legacy plan. So if you went to sign up today, the plan and the pricing looks completely different from when I first started. But if you just want that whole AI workspace type of thing where it doesn't include the employees, it's $29 a month. And then, of course, you can add team members to that as well. All right. Coming in for a landing because we have 5 minutes left. And another shared tool that we use is Anchor, where it's, and it's a pretty hot topic these days with all the things that are going on with QuickBooks payments.
Boo!
If you are looking for an alternative to recurring charges and billing for your clients, Anchor is a great alternative. Really, what is it all about? It is a proposal to paid automation platform, right? So the things that you need to do before you get the client, so the engagement letters, the e-signatures, and payment collection, all of that is done in the Anchor platform. So basically everything from the proposals to the auto charging, and then it sends that information into QuickBooks Online. And it's only QuickBooks Online that it integrates with, right, Sharrin?
As of right now, they're working on Zero. I don't think they have that one up yet. But Dan, I don't know if you knew this, but I do. I am the only one that does custom Anchor setup. And I've set up quite a few people's because I'm really big on my statement of work and how these things are in. So if you guys get in this, you're like, oh, this is a lot. I do it. I'm not cheap, but it'll be amazing. And I have people that can give you anyhow, because I don't do enough, Dan. This is stuff that I like to do for fun on my couch at night while I'm watching hockey. I love it. So I want to get paid to watch hockey. But
there you go.
And you probably may already say this coming up here, because of course I jumped in again. But the one big thing I love about Anchor is there's no monthly subscription fee. It's free for as many users as you want, and you only pay when they only get paid when you get paid. So
there we go. We'll jump to this.
Look, jump ahead. I think that's the important part, right? Because there's so many other ones that are like $85 per user. And you're like, what? And this one, it's $5. And you can push your credit card fees to the client, which I do because I'm like, I don't accept them. If you want to pay them, go ahead, get all your points. ACH keeps my stuff low. I pay $5. Here you go. And something people don't know, if it's $10 or under, they don't charge you. So if you have to charge for something one-off,
that's good.
They don't want me to tell people that, but
too late. Then they should come on and sponsor a webinar.
I love Anchor. I was actually one of their, I think I'm customer number 2 or 3. I was one of the very big beta users in the very, very, very beginning. If any of you remember me at Connect 3 years ago, trying to lure you to their suite with some coins, some chips, table chips. That was me. But their UI is amazing. They're an amazing team. This software is so good and it automates everything. I use it for all my companies, completely automated, goes to your templates, to your project management tool and I use the other ones before that. So I'm telling you that I think this one is the best one, in my opinion.
Yeah. And
Ignition isn't a sponsor, are they?
They're a friendly sponsor. But this is why I think it's so unique, because the way that their model is so different, where it's just you pay for active payment. So people looking for a different alternative to ACH collection and recurring transaction, especially if it's getting disenchanted with the QuickBooks payments and recurring payments and setting up those recurring invoices and those types of things inside of QuickBooks in lieu of all of the things that are occurring with regards to the payment and real money movement inside of QuickBooks. This of course keeps that outside of that, and there's no platform fees. It's really just pay per use, and we don't get paid unless you get paid type of thing. So
love that model. Honestly, it just makes it so fair. It makes so much sense. And they really care about their client base. For anybody that got a ride from the airport to Connect last year in their limo.
And then the other thing is they want to make sure that you're aware is at first, those ACH payments, they take a long time to show up into your bank account because they need to make sure that the funds are transferred properly, and they got to wait. It's the whole telephone tag of, did you get it? Yes, I got it. Okay, move on to the next step.
5 business days. 5 business days for the first one, and then they could get you to 2 business days.
Then you can talk to them after the fact, prove who you are, all those things. They set up a little meeting to get the faster ACH funding. So, and like you mentioned, you can pass along the merchant fees to the customer if you as part of your engagement. And okay, so I want to throw up the last poll question because we are 1 minute over. Was it useful? Was it helpful? Sharrin, any closing thoughts for today?
If anybody join his cohort, because it's everybody that's passive aggressive, and anybody that's going to Connect, email me. I have a book launch on Sunday night, and it's gonna be friggin' amazing. I'm busing you from the Aria downtown to Fremont, and I'm gonna have live tattoo artists there. I'm gonna brand you, but. So sign up for Dan's cohort, obviously. Sign up for my book launch. Sign up for the webinar in 2 weeks. Sign up for Anchor. Get Fixer. Get Motion if it works. If you're not scribing and looming, you're failing. Sign up for my community. I'll help you in it. There's a lot of good resources for you guys here today. You launched a poll. I was going to say, which is, who said one? One. That's it.
One person.
Coming out. I can see who you are in the long run. I'm coming for you, Bird. Update your no.
Yeah, so we are doing a cohort over in School of Bookkeeping about passive aggressive income. If you can support us by supporting these applications that we talked about today, because that helps us keep this the lights on here. And the passive aggressive cohort is talking about other things as well. that you can connect them financially with your clients or your colleagues. All right. So that is all for today. Let me stop sharing. And there's Sharrin. Sharrin is sharing. Well, we appreciate you all joining us here today on the QB Power Hour. And we are not going to have our next session, which is 2 weeks from today, because we will be at Intuit Connect. And I don't want to trust the Wi-Fi connection on the exhibition floor or anything like that. So
I don't want to have to wake up early on Monday morning when my book launch goes till 11 the night before. So that's just, I'm going to be real with you there, Dan.
Right.
But Dan, you're going, right? We're all going to
Yes.
be there. It's going to be fun. There's so much going on. And I've been a huge Queen Latifah fan since I was like 7. So I am, since living single, I'm so excited for Queen Latifah. And I'm so bummed I'm not speaking, and so I don't get to meet her, but I want to meet the Punisher.
And so we're not going to have our next normal scheduled QB Power Hour because that's on the 28th, which is over Intuit Connect. So the following one is 11/11. So Veterans Day, we'll be having a follow-up from Intuit Connect, but we'll also be having Marjorie Adams from 4Lane to come on and talk about the state of desktop. So this is our token desktop QB Power Hour. So for any of you that are still using desktop, definitely join us for that one. And we'll also be talking about ways to go online inside of desktop as well. Appreciate you again joining us today, and we'll see you next time in 4 weeks on the QB Power Hour. Have a great day, everyone.
Bye, everyone.
We hope you enjoyed listening to the QB Power Hour podcast. If you have any questions, feel free to ask them in our Facebook group. You can find those resources and much more at qbpowerhour.com.